In this tutorial, you will learn how to design your table by creating field names and field properties. This is a continuation from the beginner's guide to Microsoft Access you would see the link appear here. Click on it so you can actually understand the flow of this particular tutorial. So to design a table, what you need to do is go to the design view. It's actually on the design view, but to get to this point, what you need to do is you go to where you have your views group, the down arrow, you can see design view. Click on design view, and that's how you get this particular window. So now if you look at this window, you will see the design screen. There are 3 columns. The design tab is active here, and the design screen, this is the design screen. There are 3 columns: the field name, the data type, the description column. Alright, the field name column, data type column, the description column, which is optional. So below the design screen, you would see the field properties. So the field properties got 2 tabs. The general is the one you will be using for this particular tutorial, where you have your field size. When you key in, you'll see how all of this functions and how I will be changing all of that. Okay, we'll be creating an employees table or keying in fields about employees table like we did initially. So employees table, this is like creating a database or for a new employee, the general information that a new employee that will be required for a new employee. Alright, to start, I would type in from the field name, creating the field name. So the first thing I like to type in there is the surname. So the surname, data type for surname is test. So you create a field name, you put in the data type. So for here, you click at that point, there's a down arrow there. The data type for surname is a test. So for each field, there's always short test, long test. So let's work with this particular one. Now I click again because I want to key in more fields. So this time I would put names or names, other names. I'll key in other names. The other names includes, of course, first and last name or first and second name of the employee. And here I'll leave it again as short test. Okay, now I go over to key in the ID number of the employee. ID number, you can use your tab key in your keyboard to move to the next, to the data type column. So I'm going to leave it, the ID number, I'm going to leave it as test as well. So ID number could be, of course, you know, it has some ID numbers has test letter and numbers together. So I'll leave it as test there. And I want to put street number or street address. And if I click here, it's going to be a test as well. And the city, what city? City, of course, is a test. And here I want to put the gender. What gender is this person? And it's a test. And here I want to put city or province. What province? What state? Let's say state there. What state? And it's going to be a test. Now, while I was doing all of this, I'll go back. One point I didn't mention is while you key in your field name and you put in the data type, what next you need to do is go to the field size. We didn't choose field size. The default field size here is always 255. So to put a field size, let's make it 25. No, field size for the surname, so 25. So any information, any surname that has more than 25 characters cannot be keyed in. That's what that means, field size. All right. So for this aspect, other names, let's make other names to be what? Field size, let's make field size to be, say, the long names, let's make field size to be 100. Okay, so if I go to the ID number, the field size, let's make field size of the ID number to be 20. So you must always, make your field size, configure the field size. And the street address, let's make the street address are always long as well. Let's make street address 50 there. The city field size, city, let's make that 30. Now you just decide what you need to put there. All right. The gender we can make it 10, or we can make the field size of the gender to be 1. So if the gender is 1, then it's either going to be a male or a female letter. So let's make the field size there 1. So if you type in female, it's not going to enter. To only take the first letter, which is F or M for male. So the state here, we're going to put, let's make it 25. Alright, I want to key in another field name, and if you look up here, you would see that most of the data type that I have here are all short tests. So the new field name I like to key in there would be date hired, and via the data type, I would date hired. The data type here would be date. So what we have here is date and time. So I'll go for date and time. Date and time, and here date and time, you would see the general button changes. You can't see the field size is no longer there. Now we have what we call the format. So click the format here. What kind of format do you want to use for the date hired? So you click by the side here, the drop down arrow comes out. At this point, these are all different kinds of date and time. If you want just date, that's it, long date. If you want date and time, that's what you will get. And short date, that's what you have. Medium date, this is what we have. So I will use the medium date. So format for date, medium date. So I'm gonna key in, probably here would be citizenship, is the person, and because right here I'm in South Africa, so I would use this SH citizen, and here would be the data type. Is it yes or no? The data type here would be yes or no. Of course, if it's yes, person keys in yes. So again, if you choose the data type to be yes/no, if you go down to the field properties, you will also see that it's changed. Depending on the field property that you choose, it brings out, depending on the data type that you insert for a field name, that's what the field property would display. So for the format here, what we would choose is yes or no. Of course, that's what we want, yes or no. So when creating field names for other data types like the short test, you can also indicate what kind of format it should be displayed. Like I'm sure you saw that in the date hired and citizenship, we entered, like here, the properties here, the field properties, we have formatting and we keyed in the kind of format we want. You can also do the same thing for the short test data type. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I would click on the gender, so the field name gender. So when you click on the field name gender, below this part, you would see the field properties. You can see what we keyed in as the field size there is 1. Okay, so the field format, I want to put in a formatting type that will display capital letters. Whatever information that is keyed in under this field name will come out as capital letter. For me to do that, I need to use the greater than symbol, which is that greater than symbol. So what this means is that whatever information that is keyed into this field in the datasheet view will be capital letter. These are other formatting types that you can use when you're creating your own database. Over here are some of the formatting types, and here this part, the left hand side of this table, is the meaning, their meanings. So you can use them in the format box like I did show you. The example I created, I used the uppercase where I keyed in that, and this is the uppercase, and you can use. One aspect of sound table design is to have a field that has a value unique to each row in the table. The fields that have the unique value are called the primary key field. For example, in this table that has just been created, right, the ID number here would be the unique value or the unique field. The ID number here is the unique field for the employees table or staff number. If there were a staff number as a field name, it would be the staff number. No two records can have the same values in the primary key field. Alright, so to make this ID number here the primary key, you need to go to the design tab over there, design tab. Now you would go to the tools group, click on the field name like I did, click here, design tab, tools group, and you will see the primary key button. Just click on that. The primary key, you see that tiny key that is there, so we want to move that tiny key to the ID number field. Now click the primary key. You now see that the tiny key there has been moved to the ID number. Once that is done, now save your work by pressing the Control S on your keyboard, or you go through the file and click save. So once you're done and you have saved whatever it is you've done, and we have successfully created a primary key in this table, the next thing you need to do is start entering records in your table. To enter records in your table, you need to change to the datasheet view to be able to enter your table. So to change to datasheet view, you have to go to the views group, the down arrow of view, we have the two views. Now you click on the datasheet view. Now this is our table. These are everything we have created so far: the surname, the other names, ID number, street, and all of that. So once you're at the datasheet view, what you need to do is key in your records. So I am on the first column there. I'll key in some random records here so that you can see how this is actually done. When you key in finish typing the surname, you press your tab key to get to the next column, other names. So the other names here will be Albert. You press your enter key, or you move your mouse and click on the next column. ID number, I will just key in that ID number 452010. So you press your enter key, go to the street address. I have 10 Jackson 10 Jackson Belleville. Okay, these are just random information, so you anonymous, so you are well aware of what's going on. Then the city there would be, let's say the city would be Joburg. City Joburg. Let's go. Gender. If you remember the gender in the design view, we made the field size to be 1. So we're gonna put female. Albert should be a male, so I'll just put 1 letter there. And if you also remember, we made the character here to be uppercase. So if I move to the state there, it changes to uppercase. Right, that was the design we made. And the state, we'll call this call that EC, call that G, the state standing for Gauteng, and date hired would be 12th August 2019. If you remember the date hired, once I clicked, I moved to the next column, it changes because we had a medium date format there. As a citizen, yes, then you put a tick there. So once you're done and you are the last column, you press your enter key, you press the tab key to move you to the next row, so you can key in other employees' information, or you just move your mouse, your cursor, and click the next row. So I'll just click or press the tab key. Now I'm on the next row. So this is how or what you do to. Once you're done, if you see here, I just keyed in some other records about I entered about 4 other records. So a record is what you see here. Each row is called a record. So I keyed in some other records, which you can also do with using the first example that I showed initially with the first row that I have in this work table. Okay, so once you're done, you save your document. Before you save your database, you need to close the table over there. So I'll just save by pressing the Ctrl S on my keyboard and then close the table. The table is being closed. You can see here in the object window is closed. So save your database and exit the database window. Don't forget to click like button, and I will see you in the next video.